ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Ideal October night, 68 degrees, clear skies as Percy Harvin, the dangerous return man for the Seahawks, back deep to receive. Washington won the toss. They'll take it in the second half, so Seattle will get it first. And Kai Forbath, the place kicker, who has not kicked off the last couple of weeks with a groin injury, will return to those kickoff duties tonight. Redskins 1-3, Seahawks 2-1, and the final act of Week 5 is underway with a pooch kick to keep it away from Harvin. It's Luke Wilson, the tight end, taking it up the sideline, and Wilson is going to be stopped across the 35-yard line. A little scrum on the ground as players have to be separated before Russell Wilson gets set to take the field. Not too far from his home in Richmond, Virginia. He turns 26 in November, and John, he's done a whole bunch of winning in his first 2+ seasons.
Sure is, Mike. He's like an Xbox quarterback. He can do it all. He's smart. You can run any play you want. Very good arm talent, quickness. He's durable, and he's a great competitor. Redskins must contain him to have a chance.
Seattle begins from their own 35, and Robert Turbin is the back next to Wilson, and he takes the first carry. Instead, Marshawn Lynch, and he gains 5 before Jarvis Jenkins brings him down. We figure to see a lot of Lynch tonight, running behind this offensive line, which includes Justin Britt, the rookie second-round pick at right tackle. Lynch and Harvin are the primary guys who are dangerous for this team. Luke Wilson, who had that opening kickoff return, replaces Zach Miller, a former Pro Bowl tight end. Had some ankle surgery, a cleanup on that ankle, and he is out for the next couple of weeks. And it's Turbin as the back, and on play action, Wilson throws sideline, and it is incomplete, intended for Jermaine Kearse. Ryan Kerrigan had some early pressure.
What you have to do on these bootlegs, it's such a big part of this Seahawk pass offense, bootlegs. And Kerrigan did a nice job containing Wilson, forcing the inaccurate throw. 3rd down and 5. Don't be surprised if Seattle runs the ball in this down and distance throughout the night.
I'm looking for Lynch over on that Seattle bench area, John. Don't see him for the moment. Saw him out early here this evening. 3rd and 5 with 3 receivers to the left. And Wilson takes off. This is where he does so much damage. Slides after a gain of 17, and a first down for Russell Wilson.
Well, you can cover all the receivers, you can cover the back in the flat, but if you don't take care of the quarterback, you're in trouble. Russell Wilson, as we said in the pregame, had almost 550 yards rushing last year. He's on his way to that number this year.
First down at the 44-yard line. And Turbin remains in there for the Seahawks. And on play action, it's Wilson on the run, firing downfield for Baldwin. Incomplete. Bashaud Breeland, the 4th-round pick out of Clemson, now a starting corner for this Washington team.
Oh, they fake the zone stretch, and you're going to see Baldwin on a corner route against the rookie Breeland. Ball's well thrown. Great recovery by Breeland. Rookie corner out of Clemson. They like his long arms. I think Baldwin should have caught it.
Rookie Paul Richardson comes in for Seattle. He's at the top of the screen for 2nd and 10. Fullback Coleman needs the fake to the left. Ton of room for Wilson. To the 25, on his feet at the 20. And as you highlighted right at the very start, John, Russell Wilson's running ability, such an X factor.
This is all Russell Wilson. This is a running play to the left. You're going to see a lot of defensive players over here for Washington. Wilson knew it was going to be a dead play. He has the savvy and the guts to pull the ball out of Turbin's chest and run it himself. That's twice Wilson has gashed this Redskin defense with his mobility.
Gain of 29 after a gain of 16 takes the Seahawks into the red zone at the Redskins 15. Percy Harvin lines up next to the quarterback now, and a fire to the end zone for a touchdown. just like that, Jermaine Kearse with an opening drive score for the Seahawks.
Way too easy. Jay Gruden has to be upset with his defense. Similar thing happened to him last week against the Giants. Going to have a little quick screen up top to lock it. They fake the quick screen, and off goes Kearse right down the seam, and there's nobody near him in the end zone. Exclamation point by the defending world champions on the road.
Marshawn Lynch in his uniform with his helmet on the bench, not on the field on that drive, but Wilson does the running damage. Even Hauschka on to add the extra point. Wilson had a career-high 29-yard run on that drive that helped lead to his touchdown pass in the opener. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Chili's, where fresh is happening now. NFLShop.com. Find the largest selection of NFL products at the official store of the NFL. And GMC, enter the Never Say Never sweepstakes for a chance to win a 2015 GMC vehicle at GMC.com/NFL. The scaffolding around the Capitol Dome Restoration Reconstruction Project in D.C. And here in Maryland, our coverage from Spider Camp tonight is brought to you by DirecTV. Seahawks tell us there's nothing wrong with Marshawn Lynch. I mentioned he's there with his helmet. Always a sign that a player is ready to go in. He was on the bike getting loose after the touchdown drive while we were away at break. Didn't need him on the opener. Wilson did a lot of running, threw for the touchdown. And Hauschka's kickoff goes to Andre Roberts of Washington, who watches it go off the crossbar and through the uprights. Redskins take over at the 20, and doing that will be Kirk Cousins. This, for the man out of Michigan State, is his 7th NFL start. He's 1-5. Johnny was certainly shaken after the 4-interception second half against the Giants 10 days ago.
Yes, he's been hot and cold as an NFL quarterback. It's important they run the football, Mike. It sets up everything Cousins does well. Bootlegs and play-action passes. Look for Washington to run Morris early.
From the 20, Cousins goes across to Logan Paulson. May have been deflected by one of the Seattle linemen coming across, Cliff Averill perhaps, trying to block that good Seattle defensive line. This front five will watch Trent Williams, a slight dislocation of his right kneecap against the Giants a week ago Thursday. And in terms of the backs and the receivers, it is Morris, who's had 2 terrific years. Garcon and Deshaun Jackson, can they get deep? And Niles Paul, coming off the concussion, cleared the protocol and is ready to go. As Robert Griffin III watches again, trying to come back after that dislocated ankle in the second game against Jacksonville. Some movement up front. Jeff Triplett's our referee tonight. We'll hear from him for the first time.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 99, the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Seattle's Tony McDaniel there.
Both of these two teams commit too many penalties. I know both coaches want that cleaned up, but that is an important 5 yards for this Redskin offense. They do not want to fall behind the chains against this Seahawk pass rush.
Second and 5, a little bit of a pistol look. Cousins out of the pocket, just benches it, gets rid of it, as it was blanket coverage on Deshaun Jackson. Richard Sherman giving him no space to breathe. And of course, you have an offensive-minded coach and Jay Gruden calling the plays here, and Pete Carroll on the defensive side over there on the opposite side for Seattle.
You're going to see a lot of rotation in this Seahawk defensive line. They'll play as many as 8 or 9 different defensive linemen. They try to put their rushers in position to do what they do best.
Roy Halou Jr. is the back for 3rd and 5. Seahawks bring 6. Cousins gets rid of it. Andre Roberts gets the first down to the 31-yard line. When they signed him in the offseason, he was going to be the number 2 receiver. Then they got Deshaun Jackson. So Roberts is a good 3 to have.
Very good receiver. It's a nice bunch formation against man coverage. Sometimes you can generate a natural pick or rub. First down Washington, and Tom Compton an offensive tackle has checked in to play tight end for this Redskin offense. They are lacking blockers at the tight end position.
There's a whistle. Faint first whistle we heard. Trent Williams made that first move, I believe, before the right defensive end for Seattle.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 72.
Interesting.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
Michael Bennett on the call there, so another benefit for the Washington offense. Bennett, Averill, John told you, they've got 5 more guys. They come in, all play well. Malcolm Smith's the Super Bowl MVP. KJ Wright is terrifically gifted, very versatile backer. And you're familiar with the Legion of Boom, Sherman, Chancellor, and Earl Thomas. Well, Brandon Browner went to New England. Byron Maxwell has come in end of last year, start of this year, and has done a very nice job on that corner opposite Sherman. The first run for Alfred Morris will not gain anything, so it will be 2nd and 5. What a terrific first couple of seasons, John, for Alfred Morris, and already out of the gate he has 316 rushing yards, but you see what he's done since entering the league.
He's an outstanding runner. I know they'd like to get him involved as a receiver more than he has in his first 3 seasons. No question, in this zone stretch running attack, he is outstanding.
Sean Jackson looping around, throwing over the head of Thomas, and Jackson can't hang on. So Earl Thomas, the safety, going step for step with the speedy Deshaun Jackson. Cousins put it in the right spot. Jackson couldn't get it.
Well, when you got a young quarterback who's struggling, you need to pick him up by making some plays. That time, Earl Thomas read out of the blitz. May have got his hand on that ball. I thought Deshaun could have caught it, but once again, Earl Thomas is a factor.
It's a great ball reaction skill set that these Seattle DBs have. Thomas's hand just getting a bit of it to make it tougher for Deshaun Jackson. 3rd and 5. 4-man rush. Cousins throws. It's caught by Roberts again, and a good job to get away from the nickel man Marcus Burley and get a first down.
Andre Roberts has seen the Seahawks twice a year for the last few years. He's a former Arizona Cardinal. Here he is working against Burley, the new nickel corner of the Seahawks. Good throw by Cousins, but how about that concentration in a crowd with Earl Thomas beating down on you? That's a great play by Andre Roberts.
Washington's right tackle, Tyler Columbus, I believe injured his right hand there, so the Redskins bring in Morgan Moses, the 3rd-round draft pick out of Virginia. He's playing the right tackle spot, number 76. From the 42, running that way, it's Roy Halou, who's spun down by Tony McDaniel at the 45-yard line. John, where is this Washington offense with your brother Jay as the head coach right now?
Well, this offense is a little bit left over from last year in the Mike Shanahan era. They wanted to keep a lot of the things that they did well with Robert Griffin while they brought Griffin along. The problem is Griffin is not playing. So now they've got to change gears and try and find some things that Kirk Cousins does well. That's hard to do against the world champions on Monday night.
2nd and 6, Morris couldn't get to the fullback pocket, lost the football. And pouncing on it is that fullback, Darrell Young. KJ Wright, we talked about his versatility, helped dislodge that one.
KJ Wright wears number 50. He plays every position at linebacker you want a linebacker to play. Might be the best coverage linebacker, might be the best overall linebacker in football if you really sit down and study what he does for the Seahawks. Big, physical, every down wrecking machine.
Nobody likes 3rd and 12. Tough against this Seattle secondary. Again, rookie right tackle in there. Cousins throws underneath. It's Halou, and they rally to the ball and limit your yards after catch so well. Marcus Burley, along with Wright, stops Washington after a couple of first downs. They'll punt it away.
Well, they get away with playing zone coverage because of their ability to keep vision on the quarterback, break on the ball, and make tackles. KJ Wright with back-to-back impact plays for Seattle.
This is Tress Way, left-footed rookie punter, lost the battle in Chicago, but has turned into a very good kicker after Washington picked him up at the end of the preseason. punt will go all the way through the goal line and touchback. So it's 55 on the punt, just 35 of net. And after that terrific opening drive, Russell Wilson and Seattle back on the field. Try to add to that yardage total in a moment. A couple of first downs on that opening drive for Washington. Seattle takes over at its own 20-yard lines. Kirk Cousins and the offense review what they will do on the next series. It's back to Seattle and Russell Wilson, and continue to check on Marshawn Lynch after not being in that opening drive. Percy Harvin lines up next to the Super Bowl winning quarterback. Get a report on Lynch in a moment. Wilson keeps on the read option, and he is just destroying Washington with the run here. A gain of 14 to the 34-yard line.
I don't know what film they're looking at, Mike. They got to do a better job than this. 3 times Wilson has gashed them, and their plays that Seattle's been running since Wilson's been in Seattle. This is way too easy. Redskins defense has to pick it up and play their assignments.
Marked where the slide started, so it's a gain of 13 to the 33 for a third rushing first down. And Lynch enters the game for the first time. And he gets his first carry. He looks absolutely fine. Marshawn Lynch gains 17 yards, but a flag is down back at the line of scrimmage. It's the spot where the hole opened up. Brian Arakpo is limping off, injured for Washington.
Holding, number 76 to the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
As Arakpo comes off, Lisa Salters, Lynch came on the field. So what was going on with Marshawn?
Well, Mike, the Seahawks were telling us that there was nothing going on with him, but during that opening drive when the game started, Lynch was over here on the sideline. His cleats weren't even tied, so he knew he wasn't going into the game. Then he had a heating pad back there on his lower back. He was riding the stationary bike for a while. He got up and stood with the rest of the team, started stretching out his quads, asked for football, and was simulating carrying the ball. So I did know that he was going back into the game, but again, we've gotten no official word about what exactly was going on. Mike?
He looked just fine on that run that was erased with the holding penalty. So it's 1st and 20 for Wilson. And the seam, the tight end Luke Wilson couldn't hang on. We mentioned in that last play, Brian Arakpo went over to the sideline. John Arakpo, in his 6th year, former first-round pick, playing on a 1-year deal, franchise tag. Let's see what happened to him on this run.
Well, he's on the backside, and looks like the backside tight end cut him on the backside. We'll see if he's okay. They need Arakpo to deliver. I don't think Arakpo has a sack this year. He's had a lot of problems with his hands, and now he's got a problem with his leg.
2nd and 20, they fake it to Harvin. They fake it to Lynch, and Russell Wilson takes off again. Russell Wilson putting on a running show here in this first half. He picked up the first down at the 44.
Pretty obvious who the best athlete is on this field. A lot of deception here. They're going to fake the ball to the running back. They're going to fake it to Harvin, and just take a look at it. Fake it to Harvin, fake it to Lynch. 2-man route, nobody's open. Off goes Wilson, and in one-on-one situations, E.J. Biggers has no chance. Tackling has been awful tonight by this Redskin defense.
Already 80 rushing yards in this quarter, most he's ever had in a quarter in his brief NFL career, but he lost the football on the snap and able to get it back. Wilson was the first to the ball. Jeff Triplett, the referee, went up with his hand, indicating the Seattle ball. And whatever happens to the bottom of the pile will not matter.
Take a look at Wilson. Uncommon error by the 3rd-year quarterback. They have so many different ball handling endeavors in this offense. Looked like Russell just pulled out a little quick that time. Once again, 3 receivers to the left. Lynch offset by himself to the right.
Well, throw it to Percy Harvin. He's got so many balls in that area in the first 3 games this year. Bashad Breeland does a nice job rallying to the ball to make the stop. John, there is so much of that with Percy Harvin being used as such a unique weapon Not a lot of receptions downfield coming into the game. Look at all those receptions. The blue circle, 7 behind the line of scrimmage. Very few downfield. It's almost like he's been more of a running back than a wide receiver through the first 3.
But he still averages almost 130 all-purpose yards a game. They want his hands on the ball as a runner. Best way to do that is give him a high percentage throw.
You see how he stretches the field east to west. Another problem with the snap. Wilson just tries to get rid of it over the head of Lynch as he was being pursued by Keenan Robinson. So a couple of problems with snaps on that drive. Stop it.
Excuse me, Mike. That's how a quarterback gets hurt. Center quarterback exchange on first down. Another bad shotgun snap on third down, and Russell Wilson gets hit hard. Max Unger's played too much football for this to happen. Clearly Wilson's not ready, and Keenan Robinson, arguably the fastest linebacker on the Washington Redskins, brings down Wilson hard.
Seattle is great in this area. Lockett will be running from the bottom of the screen as a gunner. John Ryan, the punter. Terrific combo. It's a fair catch by Roberts at the 18-yard line. Only 32 yards of net, and that's low, but they never give up return yardage. Unger trying to figure out what's the snap issue, Coach Carroll. Get to the bottom of that, will you? You have to stop Russell Wilson the scrambler. What a factor.
Yeah, watch this. He just fakes the ball to Harvin on his zone read, and he runs around the end. There's nobody there. We talked about it in the pregame. There's going to be a lot of deception. Fake it to Harvin. Fake it to Lynch. Throw a play-action pass, but you have to contain this kid in the pocket. The Redskins have 3 or 4 rushers beyond Wilson, and they have no chance to recover. He's too good of an athlete. You have to take something off of the pass rush when you play against Russell Wilson, and I know it's hard. Everybody wants sacks.
Love that look. It's the first time on Monday Night Football in partnership with the NFL. We bring you next generation stats. Great way to trace how difficult and deceptive this Seattle offense can be and how physical and dominant the defense can be, seen right there. Bruce Irvin, Brandon Mebane able to bring down Morris right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, you're not going to run the football if your tight end doesn't block the end man on the line of scrimmage. That time, Bruce Irvin took it to Niles Paul at the point of attack. Nothing doing. And again, Seattle is substituting freely with their defensive line. They keep these big men fresh.
Tyler Columbus was out there for a play, came back out. Morgan Moses returned to that right tackle spot for Washington. 2nd and 10, and they got right past Moses, and that pass is off the hands of Jackson, and let's see the ruling on the field. Complete as Thomas tried to bring it in. Cliff Averill blew right past the rookie Moses and nearly turned into an interception.
There's the rookie at right tackle, number 76, and Cliff Averill beats him off the snap. No chance for Morgan Moses.
It's a heck of a throw by Cousins.
It's a great throw under serious duress. Cliff Averill should buy stock in Monday Night Football. He has a sack in all 4 games. He thrives under the big lights.
In the starting blocks, ready to come after that rookie right tackle. It comes inside as they bring pressure, and it's Helu on the check down, brought down. KJ Wright, Cliff Averill, only a gain of a yard. Averill starts up there at the left defensive end spot, across from Columbus, who is out. Now Moses. And Averill loops all the way around and comes around to make the play on the opposite side of the field and make it 3 and out for Washington.
This is where the Redskins have struggled the most in the last couple of years, Mike. Special teams. They commit way too many penalties and they struggle to cover.
Press Way kicking. Brian Walters back. Booming kick by Way. 57 yards. And from the 23, it is Walters picking up blocks like you talked about, John. Coverage has been poor. Lack of depth on this roster as they try to find the future of this team. 20-yard return. 7-0 Seattle. Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins share a field again like they did a couple of big-time times in the Big Ten 3 years ago.
Kirk rolls to his right, sends a long spiral to the end zone. He got it! Cardinals win! Wilson back to throw. Check! Duckworth on the receiving end. Hand off, Monty ball up the middle. Ball to the end zone! The Badgers take the lead!
Russell Wilson ended up leading that Wisconsin team his 1 year at Wisconsin to the Rose Bowl. Kirk Cousins took Michigan State to an Outback Bowl championship that helped lay the foundation for their eventual Rose Bowl win. And they meet again in the pros. Marshawn Lynch looking just fine and pounding near the 40-yard line. A gain of 17. Big opening rushing quarter for the Seahawks.
It's just an inside zone. You're going to see the backside cutoff blocks, and watch Lynch press the hole, but look at the surge by this Seahawk offensive line. Redskins' pad level is way too high, and Seattle is taking it to this run defense of the Redskins.
Extra offensive lineman in the game for Seattle. So Lynch needs another blocker. Time Redskins defense rallies to him, keeping him shy with a 35, gain of 5 yards. It was interesting what the defensive coordinator Jim Haslett said about Marshawn Lynch to try to stop him. It was a unique way of saying we've got to get a lot of hats to the ball, got to have a gang tackling team. He said we got to get some population there.
Yeah,
you need a lot of people to stop Marshawn Lynch.
He's like tackling a 230-pound slalom skier going down the Alps. Good luck.
Brian Arakpo has returned with that ankle injury for Washington. 2nd and 5. And Lynch get a yard there. Jarvis Jenkins, first man to stop him.
I saw him last week against Denver. I thought the Broncos did a great job getting people to him. They hit him with 2, 3, 4 Broncos. They knocked his helmet off. They got after Lynch for 55.5 minutes. But he keeps coming. He keeps driving at you. He will not quit. And at the end of the game, he walks off with another touchdown and a victory for the Seahawks. What a back.
3rd and 4 will become 3rd and 9 as Russell Okung moved early.
Start. Number 76 in the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
You know, one of the things you want to do on 3rd down and 8 is cut your pass rush loose. You'd like to play some combination coverages. But the number one thing you have to do is defend Russell Wilson scrambling. And that's what makes Wilson so hard to defend. They must keep him in the pocket. Look for a stunt by this Redskin front.
That penalty may have cost field goal range for Seattle, depending what they do on this play. Washington brings pressure, and Wilson is sacked by Ryan Kerrigan. The pressure allowed Kerrigan to come free for his 6th sack of the season.
That's one way to contain him. Blitz him. Shoot a man in every gap, and there's nowhere to go but throw it. But Kerrigan playing down over J.R. Sweezy at right guard wins easy. Burst to the outside. Poor pickup by the Seahawks, and important get off by the Redskin defense.
First quarter coming to an end, and no snap before it. The sack by Kerrigan, his 6th.
Says the end.
He is tied with Justin Houston for Kansas City for the league lead. After 1, Seattle by 7 on Monday Night Football.
ESPN, celebrating 45 years of Monday Night Football.
Quarter number 2, FedEx Field, Landover, Maryland. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters. Rest of our Monday night team with you. Seattle running for 108 yards in that first quarter. 80 of the rushing yards by Russell Wilson, who threw the touchdown pass to Jermaine Kearse. Thus we're at 7-0. And the punter, John Ryan, end over end, trying to pin it down inside the 5. And it went right past Josh Thomas. And it's a touchback and only a net of 26 yards. Well, before the game, Deshaun Jackson, Richard Sherman, these guys got to know each other back in their youth days in Southern California. In fact, they were Little League baseball teammates, the Holly Park Little League. Deshaun Jackson's dad coached the team. His dad has since passed away, but Richard Sherman telling us they got to know each other, what a great talent Deshaun was, and Deshaun's dad would come pick up Richard a half hour away from elementary school to bring him to the practices. And it's part of the reason those two have gotten to know each other along the way, and they get to match up here tonight. One of the featured matchups. The penalty flag was thrown on the opposite side of the field, the back end of that punt, and E.J. Biggers was whistled for holding. So instead of starting at the 20, this drive, John, will start at Washington's own 10. 2 first downs for the Redskins so far. Cousins pumps and throws. It's a complete minimal gain again to Logan Paulson. Cam Chancellor rallies to make the stop.
The Seattle defense. They play an 8-man front on almost every play. They set the edge. They won't let you run the ball to the outside. They have speed at middle linebacker with Bobby Wagner. And then they make you throw the ball into one of the most talented, disciplined secondaries I've seen. And the bad news is they can rush the passer too. So this is not the defense you want to break into the NFL against if you're a young quarterback.
Here's the bottom line through 13 plays, 20 total yards. Cousins fires over the middle, nearly intercepted. Bobby Wagner sitting down on coverage with Niles Paul. And it's 3rd down.
Well, Michael Bennett is in Cousins' face immediately off your right side. Ball comes out, KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner, number 54, close quickly. Should have been intercepted.
You see everything is quick because of that pressure the defensive line can bring, and things are very congested in those check down areas and short passes for Cousins. There's 3rd and 6. Some time here, but incomplete as Deshaun Jackson and Cousins weren't on the same page. It's back-to-back 3 and outs for the Washington offense.
When you run a shallow cross, you must sit down against the zone coverage. That time Deshaun Jackson stays on the move. If it's a zone coverage, you better sit down, because if you stay on the move, you will get hit hard. That time Cousins is expecting Jackson to sit down. They're not on the same page.
Football got loose from the sideline, thus a stoppage for a moment before Tress Way kicks it for the Redskins. For the sideline, make it unreturnable. Well, losing some yardage along the way, and it'll come out near midfield for Seattle to take over. Seahawks ball at their own 47 when we come back. On this field a couple of years ago, it was a big comeback by Seattle. Marshawn Lynch with the run at the end. That was the game that Robert Griffin III got injured and their dream season ended. Seattle won by 10. Seattle went on to win another playoff, or go to another playoff game, I should say, lose to Atlanta, but then comes back the next year and wins the Super Bowl. These are just regular season records from that point on. Washington 4-16, tied for worst in the league. Seattle 15-4, tied for best in the league, and that 15-4 doesn't include the playoff victories on the way to the Super Bowl championship a year ago. In their own 47, Wilson setting up the cross with Doug Baldwin into Washington territory. Mark him out at the 33-yard line. That's a gain of 19.
Well, nobody covered him. Just a shallow cross coming from right to left, and you're going to see number 89, Doug Baldwin, uncovered. I don't know if David Amerson is supposed to be out there or what, but when you run a shallow cross and nobody's there, you're going to gain 19 yards.
Amerson, the second-year corner out of NC State. Rashad Breeland on the opposite side, a rookie out of Clemson. Very young corners for the Redskins. Lynch hit by Ryan Clark as Keenan Robinson was dragging him down to the ground, but a good first down run for the Beast.
Real speed, real sound. Marshawn Lynch. Redskins are on their 4th different nose tackle. Barry Cofield is out. Chris Neal has been out. I see Kedrick Golston in there playing a position now. And the Seahawks know it. They're going to continue to pound the Redskins front with Marshawn Lynch.
28. Wilson's going to throw that quick to Harvin. It was covered. Throws it back to Lynch on the opposite side, and it turns into a gain of 2 yards.
Some of these plays you see in Seattle are not how you draw them up. This is a running play with a built-in quick screen, and Russell Wilson wants to throw it to Harvin. But Kerrigan is in the throwing lane, Wilson reverses his field, throws a lateral that's tipped. It's caught by Lynch. I'd like to be the play-by-play man of the Seahawks. I'll bet he has a lot of fun calling these games,
Yeah,
Mike.
any play you want. America's waiting for your play-by-play debut.
I don't know what's coming next.
I'll start drawing stuff for you. Frank Curse had the deflection. It's 3rd and 4. Movement up front by Curse here. And the flag comes down. Penalty, we give him a first down. At the 22.
Both start. Offense, the center with a head bob. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's the second 3rd down penalty that makes it 3rd and 9. They get Unger. Let's watch. You decide.
Boy,
Wow.
I don't know about that call.
He's just looking bad. He just had a bad snap a couple of series ago, so he's going to take a second look back.
That's a 4th pre-snap penalty on the Seahawks. Important they take advantage of the field position. They've been unable to do that the last couple possessions because of these penalties.
I think it's a break for Washington. I don't think that was a good call at all.
I don't either.
3rd and 9. Odd look here from the front for DeRush Wilson, who fires complete to Harvin for the first down, just inside the 20.
Rookie Bashad Breeland playing very soft. Biggers is playing underneath. I have no idea what that coverage was. Well thrown ball by Russell Wilson. D'Angelo Hall, the best corner for the Redskins, out for the year. Breeland or David Amerson has to step up quick.
Hall towards Achilles against Philadelphia on injured reserve. Second game without him. And here is Lynch pulled away at the 16-yard line.
That's what you have to do if you're a safety. They call that capping off, and Ryan Clark does it as well as any safety in football. 35 years old, soon to be, ex-Pittsburgh Steeler. That time he sees Lynch fighting for that extra yard, and Clark puts down the big back. What a football player he is.
Clark was on ESPN as much as us during the summer.
They call him the Anchorman, Mike.
Anchorman. Here comes Harvin. Sweeping around to the left. A flag is down as Harvin accelerates inside the 5. For the moment he's in for the touchdown, but as we said, flag down as he tried to turn the corner.
Holding. Number 77 in the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
They did win the Super Bowl last year, but the Seahawks committed a league-high 128 penalties. That's been part of their problem in the first half here tonight.
Well, left guard James Carpenter, former first-round pick out of Alabama against Hatcher. They're going to call that every time when your arms extend away from your body that much. Don't think he needed to do that on a wide perimeter jet sweep, and Pete Carroll not happy with the offensive penalties that have stymied this Seahawk offense.
Hard to have the most penalties in the league and win the Super Bowl. The 74 Steelers, last team to do that before this group from Seattle last year. And Pete Carroll going to take a timeout. That's also rare. You watch a lot of Seahawks games, they always seem to have their full complement of timeouts going into their 2-minute drill. So uneven start here for Seattle after their 15 days off. You mentioned it at the very beginning of our broadcast, the time you spent up in Seattle as they were getting training camps started. There's a love and a passion for football that's so evident, not just in Pete Carroll's gum-chew and rah-rah down the sideline, in every player you talk to and spend time with from them.
But you know why that is? It's because when they draft or they sign a free agent, they're looking for qualities that they cherish. They're looking for players that are self-motivated, guys that love football, people that can't get away from the game. That's as important to Pete Carroll as anything. And when you go watch the Seahawks practice or just go to their hotel and meet them, these guys can't wait to play or practice or go to a meeting.
You saw Earl Thomas. That's my favorite story of all the research and reading for this week. When they got their Super Bowl rings in May, it's a big party. Everybody's having, it's the time of your life. Earl Thomas went back to the facility to watch film.
True story. He sleeps on the locker room floor the night before games.
That certain passion for it is unique to what they have built in the great Northwest. 2nd and 17. Harvin Got away from the first. On his way again. Harvin inside the 5 for the touchdown. The strength and speed of Percy Harvin, but another flag is down.
I call an ineligible lineman downfield.
Long conversation here with Jeff Triplett and his head linesman. What John McGrath and Triplett are talking about. It was 2nd and 17. And here's the call.
False start offense. The wideout flick prior to the snap.
Called it on a wide receiver.
Please put the game clock back to 10:24.
I thought Harvin was going in motion. They called illegal motion when he came in motion. That's what Pete Carroll is arguing, but I'm going to tell you, Mike, is Bashad Breeland continues to play off coverage against Percy Harvin. He's going to be under the microscope all night. That time Harvin made him look bad after the catch.
Long conversation for a false start penalty, trying to determine if in fact he was in motion or had just turned to receive that little bubble. In any case, it is 2 touchdowns for Harvin denied by penalty. And Lynch runs for a gain of 4 yards to the 27. They do so many interesting things. I remember going back to his college days with Percy Harvin at Florida and then watching him at Minnesota. We'd often ask Brad Childress, well, what is he? Is he more running back than receiver?
He's a threat.
He's everything.
He is.
Right.
He's a running back. He's a returner. He's a receiver. You don't know what he is, but if he comes into the backfield, you treat him as a running back, and if he lines up wide, you better treat him with a really good cornerback because he can burn you.
Right now, Ryan Clark is going over there, but they are playing zone as Harvin comes in motion. Wilson fakes to him, goes to the other side to Lynch. 2 Redskins take each other out in pursuit, but Frank Kurse makes the tackle, and Seattle will attempt a field goal.
Frank Kurse should get a sticker for his helmet for that effort. Young player put in the lineup because of all these injuries, but watch Frank Kurse, an unknown who made the team in training camp, just make a hustle play to go get Marshawn Lynch. That's impressive.
Ryan Clark is shaken up for Washington and sitting down on the 34-yard line here. And looking at his left leg. A big hustle play made by Kurse, the former Dolphin draft pick, who was cut, hooked on in Carolina, played in Dallas last year. Came up with a key stop there that will limit the Seahawks to a field goal attempt of some 45 yards, but the more immediate concern, 40 yards I should say, the more immediate concern is with the starting safety Ryan Clark. Injury timeout with 9:09 left in the half. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Jockey. Quality crafted to last longer. Guaranteed. Jockey, supporting greatness. Subway restaurants, fuel your training routine at Subway. Subway, train hard, eat fresh. And Autotrader.com, land a great deal on your perfect car at Autotrader.com. That is the proud man. That's Jim Gruden. It's John and Jay's dad. Jim and his wife Kathy, your mom, back home watching one son coach on Monday Night Football, the other son in the booth. You're great people, and pretty proud, I know.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's not watching this game right now. He gets nervous. He's probably walking around yelling at Jay right now. Get something going. Love my dad. I'm proud of him.
Awesome folks. He spent a lot of time in this league in college as well. Respected scout and coach. Stephen Hauschka from 40 didn't hit it clean, but knocks it through, and Seattle extends the lead to 10-0. Pretty special family. Mention your mom and the one smart brother in the family, right?
Yeah, Dr. Jim, there he is up top. He's a doctor in New York City. He got all the brains.
10-0 Seattle here, leading Washington. Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, the Seattle defense that's so good. One of the reasons their special teams are so good, we see these players on teams and covering kicks.
They insist on being on them, Mike.
Hauschka for the boot. No return. And Washington will take over at its own 20. It's been a struggle for field position in this first half drive, starting at their own 20, their own 19, their own 10, and now this one at their own 20 again.
Hard to do. Hard to sustain drives against this Seahawk defense. I see Tyler Columbus back at right tackle. That's a good sign for this Redskin offense. So far, Alfred Morris, 3 carries, -6 yards. They have to get some positive runs from their great halfback.
First and 10 from the 20, and it is Cousins scanning, nothing open. Goes to take off and gets down before the big hit, a gain of 3 yards. Let's come back to what happened with Kirk Cousins, the Thursday night game on a short week. He had over 400 yards against Philly, made the key interception late, then had the 4 picks against the Giants. So how do you watch a quarterback come back from a game like that?
Well, you got to be careful, obviously, with your play selection early. He's just got to feel the rush better. He's got to move in the pocket better. He's got to play with a quicker clock in his head. His pocket skills have to improve, and the only way they will is by playing.
On this 2nd and 6, quickly it is Morris who spins and turns, and it gets obliterated by Kevin Williams. That's the same Kevin Williams who was in Minnesota for 11 years, now comes to Seattle at age 34 as part of this defensive rotation.
Well, Kevin Williams can play the nose tackle position. He can play on the outside shoulder, the guard. One thing I know he can do is he can play the run. He's a really good run player, has been for a long time, and he's fresh. The way they rotate these defensive linemen, Kevin Williams is always fresh, and his legs are alive, and it shows on film.
Third and 3, in desperate need of a first down. It is a throw broken up by Bobby Wagner, the middle linebacker. And it's the 3rd consecutive Washington drive to go 3 and out.
Second time Bobby Wagner has picked up a shallow cross coming from right to left. Good awareness by Wagner. Ball's got to be thrown in front of the receiver. That time a bad throw by Cousins.
Walters had a 21-yarder first time around. Tress Way kicked away from him the second time and out of bounds. This one's 51 with room to run. It's away from the first tackle, but good initial contact, then pursuit by Jamarcus Sanford will bring the punt returner Walters down just shy of the 30-yard line. 44 yards of net on that one. Teams that have butted heads atop the NFC West, Seattle and San Francisco. We'll see the 49ers next week taking on the Rams in St. Louis. Monday Night Countdown at 6, then we'll be there at 8:15 Eastern.
Is that the Mighty Quinn?
It is.
I know a song about him.
Are you going to sing again?
No.
I think he'd like you to. Maybe that'll get the sack total going. It has been an absence of pressure. Part of the story, St. Louis a fierce fight to the finish, but they couldn't finish off Philadelphia yesterday. Wilson protected over the middle. Baldwin. Big hit on Baldwin by Ryan Clark, who's back in the game at the 45-yard line. We talk about Russell Wilson already a couple of times this year. He has beaten Super Bowl champions now 8 times in his career, including the playoffs. The guys who've won the biggest games: Breeze, Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady in that rookie season, Eli Manning, and now Russell Wilson is in that group. But he was very candid about what beating those players has meant in his development now in his 3rd year in the league. Lynch on the run. 5 yards to the 49-yard line. Here's what Wilson said those wins meant to him, knocking off Super Bowl champs.
For me to win a game against Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and those type of players, it's not easy to do, because they're such great quarterbacks and they play the game so much, and that's where I want to be one day. I want to play the game for 15, 20 years, and to know defenses so well, know my offense so well, where I'm just calling everything and so I'll get there at one point.
getting closer, that's for sure. He got the ring. 2nd and 5. He's got Harvin now. And Percy Harvin gets the first down to the Washington 46-yard line.
They call this mystery ball handling in Seattle. They work hard on this. Percy Harvin is going to get the ball on a jet sweep, but Brian Arakpo can't chase it because Russell Wilson might just keep it. It's the threat of Harvin one way, Lynch one way, and Wilson the other that terminates defenses. And Percy Harvin doesn't run like a wide receiver, does he, Mike?
Not at all. Wow. Mark to the 45. It's 1st and 10. Wilson has a lot of space. Rolls it, flips it downfield for his tight end, and it's caught by Cooper Helfelt.
Cooper Helfelt, the ex-Duke Blue Devil, been on the practice field, gets his first catch, pressed into service with the injury to Zach Miller. Look at Russell Wilson running to his left. He's amazing.
And Helfelt gets his first NFL catch. A gain of 37, kept the play alive and ran away from Perry Riley Jr., the linebacker. Down the practice squad the last couple of years. Cooper Helfelt comes up with a big play. And Wilson follows with a keeper touchdown. That's the deception in the ball handling you spoke about a moment ago.
I tell you, you get great acceleration and quickness. Just take a look at the ball handling. Is he going to hand the ball to Lynch or not? Shotgun formation. Zone read. The rookie, number 93, Trent Murphy, took the cheese and off went Wilson. Awfully easy. And watch where Wilson goes, Mike. He's going to get out of bounds. That's the best thing he does for this Seahawk football team, take care of himself.
Score confirmed from upstairs. Wilson continues to add to his rushing total. He's got a great chance for a 100-yard rushing night. They can get it in a half if they get the ball again. 5 plays, 70 yards. The speed and movement of Russell Wilson. Out of the pocket, throwing on the run, and then running it in for 6. That's a pretty good half. He's thrown for a touchdown. He's run for a touchdown. He's got over 100 yards passing, which isn't that big a deal normally, but he already has 89 rushing yards. A complete performance on these first 5 drives for Russell Wilson has put the defending Super Bowl champions up 17-0 here in Washington. Roberts will watch it go through the end zone. And it's another long field. Let's go back to that Wilson touchdown run.
Oh, it's a zone read. Luke Wilson, the tight end, releases the block David Amerson. Nice read by Russell Wilson, and that's as easy as it gets. See if this Redskin offense can move the football against the Legion of Boom. Try to get back in the game. Get something going here.
The first possession, they had 15 yards and 2 first downs. Nothing on the last 3. They'll try Morris, and he'll gain nearly 5 out to the 25-yard line for Alfred.
It's Richard Sherman playing left corner for the Seahawks. He does not flip sides. People ask him a lot of the time, how come you don't go play the best receiver? Why do you always stay on the left side? He says, that's disrespectful to Maxwell. He says, I'm going to stay over here and cover my guy, and Maxwell will take his. He's fully capable. Boy, is he locked in at left corner for the Hawks.
Watching Deshaun Jackson here on this 2nd and 5. The run is to the other side, and Morris gets a first down, much needed. And out to the 36-yard line for Alfred Morris.
It's good back-to-back runs by Morris. The zone play off the weak side, right behind Pro Bowl left tackle Trent Williams, who's doing a nice job against Schofield. Trent Williams can play. Step with your outside foot, reach and run him off the screen. He's done it quite well for a long time.
Sean Laval and Corey Lichtensteiger, left guard and center, combining to open that space. Now it's Morris to the right. And Kevin Williams joins Bobby Wagner to bring him down shy of the 40-yard line as we dip inside of 3 minutes by the time the next snap comes along.
That's how this offense is set up right now for Kirk Cousins. We need to run the ball with Alfred Morris. It'll set up the two things that Cousins does well: bootlegs, play action passes. Wouldn't be surprised if you see one here.
Hard to get space, to get time for deep developing routes because of the good job these corners do. Roy Halou Jr. is the back. Cousins flush, throws on the run towards Jackson. DeSean Jackson all the way home. Washington touchdown.
Jackson beats his old friend Richard Sherman. They'll be talking about that. Great job by Kirk Cousins. We talked about it earlier, Mike. He's got to do a better job in the pocket. That time, he felt pressure. He escaped to his right. And DeSean Jackson goes to work against the great Richard Sherman. You bring him in a close split like that. Sherman played off coverage. But watch Cousins step up, move to his right. Actually, he didn't really get Sherman as much as I thought he did.
Yeah, Chancellor comes over on that coverage as Sherman comes to take the inside receiver. And Jackson gets a deep ball, the second deep shot he's hit. It is a 60-yard touchdown.
Well, the scrambling of Cousins got Sherman out of position, and DeSean Jackson hurts him.
By Forbath, able to add the extra point. So this is a Washington team that was limited on its first 21 plays in terms of yards. Gets a big one from DeSean Jackson to get on the board. 17-7 Seattle. That early first down running got Kirk Cousins an opportunity to get out of the pocket and do what DeSean Jackson does best. 50-plus yard touchdowns since he entered the league. No one has had more long balls. 19th touchdown of 50 or more for DeSean Jackson. And after the kickoff here, you need to explain that coverage. We were just watching it here in the break because it's some of the confusion that you see when teams play different coverages. Try to assign who was the DB beaten on a play. We'll go back and show you. 17-7, another pop-up kick to keep it away from Harvin. This time they put a little more speed out there with the receiver Doug Baldwin. And he's hemmed in and will be stopped shy of the 30-yard line. Go back to that play, John.
Well, it's four verticals. You're going to see what we call all go. And Richard Sherman at the bottom of the screen, he tries to midpoint Niles Paul and DeSean Jackson. Hard to do. He tried to steal the seam ball, and he got fooled to the outside. And I think the scrambling by Cousins and the fact that DeSean Jackson stayed alive gives the Redskins a big play and a much-needed play at the end of the half.
Showing those next generation stats. In partnership with the NFL from the 29, Seattle with 2 timeouts, and Washington's defense, Perry Riley Jr. able to stop Robert Turbin, along with Kearse, who's had a very big first half here. Seattle try to squeeze in one more play before the 2-minute warning. And Wilson over the middle, complete to his tight end Luke Wilson. He's 3 shy of the first down, and we'll have a 3rd and 3 on the other side of the 2-minute warning. With the Seahawks, plus 10. Chris Berman standing by for the Toyota halftime. We'll have the latest news updates from our insiders, Chris Mortensen and Adam Schefter. It includes a story on Detroit's Calvin Johnson. Lions talking about maybe not playing him next week as that foot injury continues to bother him. Today on SportsCenter has everything that's happened today in sports, including the baseball playoff updates. The local folks happy as the Nationals staved off elimination, winning in San Francisco 4-1. After that 18-inning marathon not too far from here at Nationals Park a couple of days ago. Toyota halftime coming up momentarily. 3rd and 3 for Russell Wilson in Seattle, and Robert Turbin's the back. Wilson first option cover, and the pressure from Merriweather and Kerrigan brings them down.
I'm shocked that Russell Wilson didn't change that play. Jim Haslett comes with an all-out blitz. Totally fools Russell Wilson. They bring the house. Nobody adjusted their route, and down goes Wilson. And momentum has changed. Shockingly so after the first 25 minutes of this game.
Timeout taken by Washington, each team with 2 timeouts. Brandon Merriweather will be credited for the sack. Back for the punch in a moment. Back for the punt by John Ryan. With Ricardo Lockett's speed closing in on Roberts and forcing him to make a fair catch. Ricardo Lockett, the Gruden grinder pregame, he might be as good a gunner as there is in the league. What speed he turned on there.
Looked like Usain Bolt. He gets a great release just like he does as a receiver, and he's showing that sprinting speed that he has. Good night. I was hoping from here that Roberts laid out the fair catch. That was going to be a big hawk tackle.
Great shot, guys. The reaction from Lockett. You had the Ryan 5.2 seconds of hang time with Lockett's speed. Really impacts a return game. 1:44 left. Washington has 2 timeouts. Averill is stopped on the stunt, and Cousins throws complete to Roy Halou. Hit down by Chancellor at the 30. It's a first down. No need to spin the ball. You're in a 2-minute drill. You want to speed things up.
Got to be careful right now if you're Kirk Cousins. He got away with one late down the middle. Can't do that and get away with it against this Seahawk defense. Don't want a turnover. Like to get something. Remember, Washington gets the ball to start the third.
1:15 remaining. Cousins hit as he throws. Incomplete. Short of Halou, and Michael Bennett brought the heat.
Bennett lines up everywhere. I've seen him play right in, left end, over the guard, over the center. He is the best pass rusher on this Seahawk defense. That time he beats Chris Chester and brings down Cousins. Chester needs some help in one-on-one situations against Bennett, just like most guards.
This is when Seattle puts its best pass rushing unit out there. While the defensive line gets some extra defensive end pressure in those normal tackle spots. 2nd and 10. Bennett got help that time, and Cousins fired for Roberts. Incomplete.
Roberts needs to make that catch. You get a good protection down. You get an open receiver in the middle of the defense in a 2-minute situation. Roberts needs to make this catch right through his hands.
Wow.
And 3rd down and 10. This is where the Seahawk defense is the best in football. And this is where the Redskins obviously aren't.
1:06 left, 5 on the rush. Cousins unloading deep downfield. A lot of contact downfield. And no flag. Pierre Garçon was trying to get deep. 2 Seahawk defenders run into Garçon, and the back judge is getting a look from 53 Redskin players on the sideline.
Well, it's a blitz. It's one-on-one coverage. Garçon wants to get to the corner, and Sherman has outside technique. Looked like Garçon pulled Sherman down by his hair. I think that's a good no call for sure.
So now Tress Way will punt. It's a big kick, almost 60 yards. Sending Walters back to the 11. Turned around and brought down with a flag coming down. Akeem Davis turned him inside for Silas Redd, the running back, to make the stop. And with 46 seconds left, we'll check the flag. And Sherman made contact outside the 5 yards, but then Garçon just grabbed onto him and tried to pull him inside.
There is no foul for an illegal block in the back. First down.
Coach these situations with a job. 46 seconds, 2 timeouts. It's one of those where you don't always jump right into your 2-minute offense. Sometimes it's a little probing to see if you're going to jump into it or not.
Well, with Russell Wilson in this field position, you never do know for sure, but I'd probably be very careful on a first down call in this field position.
It's a great option to have. Give it to Harvin, see when he can get going. He gets nothing going there. Washington 2 timeouts left. As you said, they get the ball first to start the second half.
I think that's my big question with Harvin is, can you survive at that size carrying the ball as a running back?
And he might be shaken up here. They're going to stop the game for a moment. Harvin in some discomfort as he's limping a little bit on that left leg. We remember all the problems he had, the hip surgery last year, injury problems in Minnesota during his Viking years. Put on the brakes there, and as he went to cut, just slipped and fell and comes limping off to the side.
Right ankle, right knee. You hope he's okay, but he's had a history of injuries. Looks like he's going to be okay, but
of course the turf was a big story here 2 years ago. That playoff game where Robert Griffin III got hurt. There have been far fewer problems, and obviously not late in the season. So the weather not as much of a factor as out on the field before the game. Surface seemed just fine. You see Harvin, it's almost like a sprinter wearing tights. You don't see any socks as he's wearing. He's built for speed and dressed for it when he's out there. This will be penalty 8 on Seattle.
False start. Number 60, the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, Max Unger, former Pro Bowl center, has had a rough night. A couple bad snaps. One call I didn't agree with, a head bob that time. Another false start. I'd be real careful if I was Seattle. I'd get to the locker room. They got to clean up these pre-snap penalties for sure.
Second and 14. Washington still has 2 timeouts left. Seattle lost one because of the injury to Harvin inside of 2 minutes. Wilson will boot it and throw to Baldwin complete. Doug Baldwin's going to step out of bounds.
How about the confidence
first down
that you must have in Russell Wilson? You're on a bootleg to his left in a backed up situation. Left side of your screen, a rack pose unblocked. You got a receiver securing the edge, but gutty call.
So 3rd and 1, 19 seconds left in this first half. The rookie out of Colorado, Paul Richardson, is at the top of the screen. One of the 3 receivers to Wilson's right. We'll throw it to Baldwin. Get the edge, get the first down, and get out of bounds with 14 seconds remaining. Now 13.
These receivers are some unselfish Seahawks. I think Harvin was a leading receiver with just over 100 yards. Baldwin doesn't have many more than that. They do a lot of dirty work, but boy, do they come through when called upon. There's Paul Richardson, their second rounder. He can fly, the former Colorado Buffalo number 10.
13 seconds left. Turbin up the middle. Yard shy of the first down, and Seattle will let it go here and not use that final timeout. We'll get to the half. Washington gets the ball to start the 3rd. Russell Wilson, 89 yards rushing, a rushing TD, a passing TD, leading the Seahawks to a 10-point lead. Here's the Toyota halftime. Chris?
Welcome to Monday Night Football.
It makes rock concerts look like tea parties.
What a show this man has put on tonight. 99 yards and a half.
Ignition, we have liftoff.
Are you ready for some football? He's got it. A record. He did it. Or you can take me now. I've seen it all.
The 699th Monday Night Football game set for the second half. 17-7 Seattle on top. They're the key numbers. The 2-to-1 plus ratio of total yards for Seattle. Just 5 Washington first down. Seattle's penalties, the 8. Certainly a problem for Pete Carroll's team in the first half. Mike Tirico, John Gruden. If there's a headline, it's Russell Wilson. If there's a question, is how do you stop him or contain him here in the second half?
He's hard to stop. He can hurt you as a runner or a passer. And clearly tonight, he's done both. But you got to contain him. Here's Percy Harvin in motion. They fake it to Harvin. They fake it to Lynch. It's a play-action pass, and one-on-one, E.J. Biggers is no match for Russell Wilson. And then it's just a scramble play. Look how many yards Russell Wilson runs. He's going to run 36 or 37 yards, and he throws a pass to Cooper Helfelt that set up another touchdown. A lot of these plays aren't scripted, Mike. Wilson makes things happen, and the thing I like the most about him is he takes care of himself. He doesn't take a lot of hits.
6 rushes for 89 yards. Washington's offense, that one big play, the touchdown to Deshaun Jackson, was more than half of Washington's total yards in that first 30 minutes. Stephen Hauschka been all touchbacks so far, and that continues as we send it down to Lisa Salter.
Hey, Mike, well, I just talked to Jay Gruden. He said, we got to get Alfred Morris going again. He said they did a nice job of stopping the run early, and we just abandoned the run. We got to get back going again, and then we got to challenge them down the field, throw the ball. He said, what the heck, right? Sounded just like John. As for Pete Carroll, he said too many mistakes. We were hurting ourselves. Little things, execution-wise, we got to clean up on both sides of the field. And an update on Percy Harvin. He was treated for cramps at halftime. He got an IV fluid back in the locker room, but he's back on the sideline.
That's great news given his injury history. Washington takes over at their own 20 with Kirk Cousins making start number 7. And on play action, first down. What the heck? Take one of those shots towards Deshaun Jackson, who got bumped and brings it in. Spectacular grab after the contact with Byron Maxwell. Flips the field.
What you got to do, go after Byron Maxwell. That's what everybody's done. Work away from Sherman, throw it to a fast wideout off of play action. Beautiful move against Earl Thomas in the post, and that ball can't be thrown any better, Mike. Watch this throw. 7 steps, 1 hitch, let it rip. If Cousins gets hot, I've seen him do some really exciting things, Mike.
57 yards on that pass reception. Now from the 23, it is Morris to the right. Cam Chancellor pulling him back 2 yards there. So Deshaun Jackson, John, as we talked about with all of his touchdowns, so many deep balls he's caught over his career.
It's amazing. I talked to Jay Gruden about this, and he says to his quarterbacks, when he's even, he's always leaving. And he always finds a way to track the ball. He was a great baseball player, drafted, by the way, and it allows him to play center field at 4.3 speed. Not many deep receivers like him.
Richard Sherman did talk about that ability to track it down as an outfielder. Very similar approach going to get balls like that. 2nd and 8, looking Jackson's way, it's covered. Morris, that's what the Seahawks do as well as anyone. Bobby Wagner, contact, no yards after the catch.
We talked about hawk tackling in the pregame. And Bobby Wagner, watch him, number 54, he's going to come from his middle linebacker position and make a beautiful one-on-one open field tackle. Eyes through the thighs, lower the target, shoulder tackle, roll to the side of your leverage. I sound like Coach Seto, the tackling coach to the Seahawks. I got their manual.
Third and 10, bunch formation to the left. Cousins throwing right for Halou. One step away, but a flag is down. Backed by the quarterback. Did they hit Cousins?
He uses the hands, hands in the face, number 56 in the defense. The 5-yard penalty on automatic first down.
John Cliff Averill. It keeps the drive alive.
Excuse me, Mike. That's a big penalty, obviously. Let's take a look at it. It's a point of emphasis. You see the ball thrown just out of the outstretched arms of Roy Halou, but a big penalty on Averill, and a call that I've seen more this year than all my previous years combined.
As a point of emphasis, the referee, Jeff Triplett, throwing the 9th accepted flag on Seattle. Remember, they had a couple of touchdowns taken off the board because of flag. Quick toss. Andre Roberts using his speed on the edge for a first down gain to the 12.
It's important when you throw these quick screens that you have a physical blocker on the perimeter. That time, Niles Paul did a good job against Burley. Watch number 84, stock blocking, allowing Roberts to get to the edge. Some confusion here.
Not sure if Cousins was able to get the play there. He ran back toward the sideline to get the call. This has been a good red zone performance thus far. Morris right at the 10. Very close to that first down at the 8-yard line. It looks like he's marked just shy. It'll be third and less than a yard.
Camp Chancellor coming off another big outing last week against the Broncos. That time sets the edge for this Seahawk defense. It's just hard to get this stretch running game outside against the Seahawks. And you got to be real careful in these third down situations, Mike, throwing the football against this Seahawks secondary. They had 7 interceptions last year in the red zone. Let's see what they do in short yardage.
Communications from the sideline to Cousins is not working properly. Play clock about to run out. Cousins keeping it on the sneak, trying to get that first down. Where the head linesman is running in. It's short. Let's see where the spot comes as he looks for where Cousins is. He's short. It's fourth down. Field goal makes it a 7-point game.
This is where I always ask for a measurement. Short yardage is one thing, but I wanted to know exactly how far it was before I made my decision. If it's inches, I might go for it, Mike. If it's a yard or a long 2 feet, I might kick the field goal. Crowd doesn't like it, but I agree with this call. Make it a one-possession game.
Pressway, the punter, comes out for Forbath to hold. And the play clock running down was a short field goal, so no need to rush it to beat the play clock. But they do, and Forbath able to knock it through from 27 yards. So you get points on the board here to start the third quarter and make it a one-score game with 10:41 left here in this third quarter. From Washington, ESPN's Monday Night Football brought to you by Fury in theaters October 17th. NFL.com/mobile stream live local Sunday and primetime games on your phone. Navy Federal, serving the armed forces and their families. And Autotrader.com. Land a great deal on your perfect car at Autotrader.com. And on this night with the temperature in the mid-60s, our coverage from Spider Cam here at FedEx Field is brought to you by DirecTV. Back to a one-score game as Washington takes the opening drive for a field goal, highlighted by Deshaun Jackson's 57-yard reception. And again, this almost onside kick attempt to try to steal a possession, but it's Cooper Helfet, who had the big catch earlier, able to grab it, and Seattle will take over at the 45-yard line. Trying to beat the champs, trying to steal a possession somewhere. And after some short kicks, this is the onside kick attempt. No surprise, Helfet ready for it for Seattle. Good field position for Seattle. What do you think of that kickoff decision there?
Well, it backfired. They didn't get it, but when you give up 270 yards in the first half and you struggle to cover kicks, sometimes stealing a possession is the way to go.
The 44, it's Lynch to the right. Marshawn Lynch will gain 6 yards across midfield. After that, Marshawn first half of 7 carries and 40 yards. Didn't play the first drive of the game. Been in ever since.
It's the pre-snap penalties, the offensive penalties that have hurt Seattle tonight. They've had a touchdown called back to Percy Harvin. They've been knocked out of field goal range. Let's see if they can clean up their execution, eliminate the penalties, and put 7 on the board.
Reed with Harvin, almost lost the handle on the ball, never got ahead of steam. And good penetration for Chris Baker and Jason Hatcher. Third down coming up.
This is a zone running scheme. They're going to hand the ball to Lynch, and they're going to read the backside. This time, number 92, Chris Baker, Hatcher, get off blocks and stuff Lynch, setting up a huge 3rd and 4. Harvin back in the game at the bottom of the screen.
Wilson moves him next to him. All three offensive threats in the backfield, and it's Harvin out of the backfield. Brought down on a terrific play by the second-year man, David Amerson, the corner from NC State, forcing the 3 and out.
You lose D'Angelo Hall, your best corner. Somebody needs to step up and make a play. They try to sneak Harvin back into the flat, and watch David Amerson track him. Actually, Emerson's at the bottom of the screen, but did not fool the second-year corner. Nice job hanging on. David Amerson, big play for the Redskin defense.
Okay, let's watch Ryan in combination with Ricardo Lockett, the speedy gunner, trying to down this inside the 5. He's got Curse, the other wide receiver there, who just softly places the ball down at the 1-yard line. 2 wide receivers as gunners, Jermaine Curse and Ricardo Lockett, that Aussie-style end-over-end punt that is easier down, taken care of by Curse at the 1. Washington has the ball at its own 1.
Hard to jam the ball off the goal line against these Seahawks. Kevin Williams, Brandon Mebane, Tony McDaniel versus Corey Lichtensteiger, the center of the Redskins. A huge size advantage for Seattle.
Hard tap. Cousins gets it to Mars, puts his head down and brings it off the goal line to the 5, a gain of 4 to gain some space.
That's an impressive run coming off your goal line. Seahawks have all these different combinations they can play. Mebane, McDaniel, and Williams. And you got to come off the ball with authority and try to knock them back. Excellent job on the backside, and that gives the Redskins some room.
Cousins to throw. It's caught by Pierre Garçon for the first time tonight. He is a very physical receiver and delivers that shot to Byron Maxwell, a yard shy of a first down.
Garçon doesn't back down from anyone. Watch him after the catch lower the boom with his right shoulder. He's good in any offense. I saw him play with Peyton Manning, Curtis Painter, Robert Griffin, Cousins. It doesn't matter. Fast and furious on game day.
6 foot 216. Again, Cousins is having a very difficult time with the communication from the sideline. He's having to run towards the sideline to get the play calls here. 3rd and 1. Morris, a lot of Seahawks on the other side of the line of scrimmage. And a loss of yardage. Kevin Williams, the aforementioned Brandon Mebane, the longest tenured Seahawk, and a new Seahawk make the play.
Well, they got a heavy line. They got a speed group. Watch Mebane, McDaniel, the internal group, string this play out. They set the edge with Bruce Irvin. And Kevin Williams can still stop the run.
Back-to-back 3rd and 1. Washington cannot convert. This one kicked to the sideline away from Walters again. And Seattle continuing to dominate the field position battle. Going to have it at their own 44. Bruce Irvin on the edge. The big guys, the middle, force the 3 and out. Seattle scored the first 17. Washington the next 10. Seattle's big names getting it done. Including the 89 rush yards for Russell Wilson. A touchdown throwing and rushing. Marshawn Lynch averaging just over 5 a carry. And Percy Harvin, 3 receptions, 19 yards. Those 3 big players. And John, it's the threat of what they can do as well, which makes this team so difficult to defend.
There's so much deception, and the deception features their best players. Wilson can hand it to Lynch. He can keep it himself, and oftentimes they have Percy Harvin involved as a receiver or a runner as well. And the ball handling is superb. They spend a lot of time detailing it.
The ball was at the 45-yard line when we went to break. It was marked as such. And Jeff Triplett and the other officials came back and moved the ball up to midfield as this drive got started. I really understand how that happened. In any case, a hold by Okung will erase this run by Wilson of 17. He stopped Brian Orakpo in his tracks.
Holding Number 76 to the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
This offensive line has been sloppy tonight with penalties. Left tackle Russell Okun working against Brian Arakpo, and that was as obvious as you'll ever see.
There's now 10 accepted penalties against the Seahawks. They had 19 penalties in their first 3 games. Remember, Seattle's only 2-1 here as we play the final game of Week 5. After opening on that Thursday night, having played only 2 games the last 31 days. First and 20, and a timeout taken by Seattle from the sideline. So again, a timeout taken by the Seahawks. Out of the Seattle called timeout, it's first and 20. The 4-man rush is quick, just pick it up and throw it out to Harvin. Picking his way through blockers, and the Redskins rally to the ball, and 3 players led by Merriweather and E.J. Biggers bring down Harvin.
I have not seen a receiver run like Percy Harvin. He takes a hit from Brandon Merriweather. Just a simple quick screen. They force him back to the inside, and he takes a lot of hits for a wide receiver. Second and 12.
Wilson calls off one option on this play and fires left side. Harvin couldn't bring it in. Incomplete.
Russell Wilson made a hand signal to his 3 receivers. He saw the coverage. He changed the route. Just a subtle hand signal. Everybody's on the same page. Great protection. Ball's thrown a little bit out in front of Harvin, but he needs to catch that ball. Harvin's route tree has really consisted of a lot of bubble screens, quick screens. He averages about 6 yards a catch. They need to get him involved as a threat down the field.
Stopped 11 straight completions for Wilson. Here's third and 12. Wilson has to step up, takes off, and is brought down. Keenan Robinson with the hit, and will bring up fourth down.
Well, they contained him that time, and Wilson took a big hit, I think, on his right shoulder. Keenan Robinson, who's taken over for London Fletcher, levies a big hit.
Arakpo chasing from behind, gets him first, and then you have the helmet contact as Robinson was going forward, and Wilson's helmet comes down into him. Again, John Ryan. Roberts this time fair catching it at the 8-yard line as the Gunners are coming down on him. They give up no punt return yards. He gave up 84 all of last year, 82 all of last year, and 21 this season. And the woman there at the top of that fire engine is Tanya Snyder, the wife of Redskins owner Daniel Snyder. Big part of the breast cancer awareness that has spread throughout the league in the month of October. Helped finish the fight against breast cancer by visiting NFL.com/pink to celebrate the NFL and American Cancer Society's first ever Crucial Catch Day. That's October 25th. Cancer survivor in her own right, Tanya Snyder and Dan Snyder have done so much to start this awareness on the NFL platform. Cousins first down, throwing. It's caught by Deshaun Jackson. Backing out of bounds, shy of the 30, and a first down.
Great touch by Cousins. He threw that over Chancellor's outstretched arms and underneath Sherman, and Chancellor's 6'4". Nice job using his eyes, seeing the throw, and that trajectory, perfect.
Gain of 22, the shortest game for Deshaun Jackson tonight. His 3 catches for 139 yards. Roy Halou Jr. left. Loss of 5. Bruce Irvin first there for Seattle.
Well, Niles Paul can't block him. They don't have a blocking tight end, it looks like. But Niles Paul, for the second time, has been no match at the point of attack for Bruce Irvin.
Niles Paul, receiver as a rookie, moved over to that tight end spot. Jordan Reed continues to be out. Injured his hamstring first quarter of the first week and now missing his 4th game. So it is Paul back off the concussion and Logan Paulson at that tight end spot for Washington tonight. 2nd and 15, pressure on Cousins, and he goes down. Bobby Wagner on the blitz from his linebacker spot with the first sack of the night for the Seahawks.
That's what they do. They lull you to sleep. They rarely blitz, but when they do, they rock you. Wagner had 5 sacks last year. Alfred Morris blows a pickup. You make any mistakes against Bobby Wagner, your quarterback's going down. The quarterback of the Seahawk defense, Bobby Wagner, continues to improve.
Need to get to the 40 to keep the drive alive. He's quick to Deshaun Jackson. And that's the 27-yard line, well short of the first down. As Richard Sherman and Pierre Garçon, and neither one of those two men wants to back down from that. Jackson shaken up as the ruckus continues.
Garçon and Sherman, you knew it was just a matter of time. Very physical, great competitors, and this isn't over.
Here they are blocking. And they get tangled, and
Garçon grabbed Sherman's face
sure
mask.
did.
I saw him grab
Wow.
his hair earlier. I don't blame Sherman for being upset.
And none of the officials saw that. So no flag, and Tress Way will punt. .54 on the kick, and here comes Brian Walters. Got away from 2 men and 3, and finally brought down by the pursuing Silas Red Jr., but an opportunity to flip the field does not happen as Seattle gets a very good punt return. They're winning the special teams. What a football Saturday it was last week. What's the encore? Alabama, Arkansas, 6 Eastern time. Starts college football prime time, and then number 3 Ole Miss. What a scene in Oxford. They'll take on the Aggies as Texas A&M tries to bounce back their 2nd straight week against one of the Mississippi teams. Fun Saturday, wasn't it, watching the college ball?
Yes, it was. You don't know what's going to happen in that division of football, I'll tell you. See if Arakpo and Kerrigan can deliver for the Redskin defense.
2 minutes left here in the 3rd. Only points, a Washington field goal. Marshawn Lynch not getting going. Just get Jason Hatcher with a stop after a gain of 2.
You know, in this Jim Haslett 3-4 defense, Arakpo and Kerrigan are the outside linebackers. And in the sub package, they become defensive ends. Arakpo, the franchise player, $11 million a year. Kerrigan leads the NFL in sacks. One of them needs to make a memorable play, create a turnover for the Skin defense.
Seattle goes 4 receivers. Washington responds with 5 DBs. 2nd and 8. They fake the pitch to Harvin. And the throw to the tight end. A huge hit on Luke Wilson up high by E.J. Biggers.
Seahawks continue to move the pocket with Russell Wilson. Luke Wilson catches the ball, and Perry Riley with a big hit.
My mistake. I thought Biggers got him first. You call Riley with the tackle. Seattle has not had a first down in this quarter, and it's 3rd and 5.
Watch Lockett at the top of the screen. Deep, Mike. Number 83 can fly.
Wilson gets it out quick. It's incomplete. Contact within that 5-yard zone. as Cooper Helfet, the backup tight end, couldn't get free. And it is 3-and-out again. It's been a much better defensive quarter for Washington here in the third.
That time, surprisingly, they isolate Cooper Helfet on a 3rd and 5, and they're not on the same page. And perhaps the MVP of the night might be this punter, Mike. John Ryan has flipped the field and really pinned Washington deep several times tonight.
Second longest tenured Seahawk, former CFLer, played in Winnipeg, played with the Packers out of Regina, Saskatchewan. Again, inside the 10-yard line. What a difference it makes. You look at the drive starts for Washington. 20's the best they've done. It's been a long field every series for Kirk Cousins. John's an interesting time for Cousins. Robert Griffin III got on the field to stretch at practice Saturday. He's a couple of weeks away from getting back. Who knows when exactly he'll be ready to play. And for Kirk Cousins, it's a window. It's an opportunity to prove that maybe you can be a #1 quarterback here or somewhere else in this league.
No question. He's had some great moments in this young season. He's had some forgettable ones. But as we head to the 4th quarter, what an opportunity he has against the world champs on Monday Night Football.
Drive start from the 9. And Alfred Morris will gain 2. Spun down by Jordan Hill, and they'll spin the clock down here on the 3rd.
Well, that time they pulled their left tackle, Trent Williams. What an athlete Williams is.
4-bath field goal, the only points of the quarter. Through 3. Seahawks by 7 on Monday Night Football.
ESPN, celebrating 45 years of Monday Night Football.
Fourth quarter, and the Seahawks leading the Redskins 17-10 here just outside of D.C. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, and Lisa Salters. Seattle trying to get to 3-1 on the season. Washington trying to join the rest of their division. It was a good day for the division as Philadelphia, Dallas, and the Giants came away with victories yesterday. Quarter begins with 2nd down, and Morris only gets a yard. O'Brien Schofield on the stop for the Seahawks.
Once again, Niles Paul on the backside, struggling as a blocker. Hand the ball off on the weak side, and Niles Paul has to find a way to block if they want to run the football. Bunch formation to the left. They're going to try to get Deshaun Jackson off clean.
3rd and 6, Seattle showed pressure. Now brings it. It's picked up. Cousins throws. It's knocked down. Good job retreating by K.J. Wright. He and Earl Thomas gave no throwing lane for Cousins. And Washington goes 3-and-out.
Forget how big K.J. Wright is. 6'4", big wingspan. They jump into a double-A gap blitz. Cousins audible. But K.J. Wright, number 50, retreats. Nice play.
Kicked away by Tressway. This one's short. Running up to get it. Walters to the 46. Made 2 men miss, but the 3rd will bring him down. Shy of midfield. Will Compton down there. Snapper on the coverage. Good field position for a struggling Seattle offense. The woman is Jane Heltzer. She worked for 48 years for Wilton, makers of the football, and she has made a football without laces. Why? It's important. Gruden's quarterback camp called about laceless footballs. Jane agreed out of retirement to work a few hours each week to help. She sews the footballs at home. And John, you're going to explain why a laceless football is important in today's football in a moment. Wilson taking over from the 47. It's 1st down. Marshawn Lynch with the carry. Cross midfield. We have a laceless ball here. What's the deal here?
Well, if you're a shotgun quarterback like Russell Wilson, you got to have big hands. You got to be able to catch the ball, release it, oftentimes without the laces. Look at him catch this ball, no laces, throw the ball. You don't have to find the laces and slow things down, but here's a ball with no laces. You catch it, throw it, Mike.
Oh, I can't spin.
That's why I called Jane. You got to work on throwing the ball quickly with no laces.
Sorry, I was hitting.
That's why Jane is going to get a great Christmas bonus.
Gruden grinder.
Oh, boy.
The deception of Wilson. Clark coming up. Did a good job to force Wilson wide, but you saw the little things that Russell Wilson does. He stuck the ball out there to get a couple of extra yards before going out of bounds.
That's why he's a great ball handler. He's got big hands. He's able to put the ball in Lynch's chest. He reads the backside, and Ryan Clark has to make a one-on-one tackle. And most defenders struggle to get Wilson down in one-on-one situations. Big third down at 3. Harvin at the bottom of the screen. He's been their target a couple times tonight in this down and distance.
Wilson, flush, throwing, incomplete. Baldwin couldn't reel it in with a flag down. A flag thrown in the secondary. This is a Seattle team that only has 1 first down its last 5 possessions.
Prior to the pass, holding number 56 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It was Riley who was around Baldwin, the intended receiver.
You'll see Riley coming from inside out. He hooked Baldwin. Good call.
As you heard, it was prior to the pass on that call, thus the hold. It's the second penalty on Washington here tonight, but it keeps the Seahawks drive alive with their first down of this second half. The 41, Wilson pumping, looking deep downfield, wide open is Harvin for the touchdown. Another flag down. Harvin, who's had 2 touchdowns called back because of penalties tonight.
I check on Russell Wilson. He took a serious shot from Bashaud Breeland.
3 officials, conference at the 42-yard line. Here's Triplett.
Prior to the touchdown, personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 77. Hit a player on the ground unnecessarily. 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Wow. James Carpenter, the 11th flag and the 3rd touchdown taken off the board that would have been scored by Harvin.
The Carpenter had a holding call in the first half. This play here is ridiculous. Russell Wilson stands in there against the blitz and throws a beautiful pass on the left side of your screen. You see Carpenter plant. Baker. Big penalty.
It's unnecessary. We've seen things like that not called, and it really magnified that call in a big spot. 1st and 25, and Wilson not getting the space to run as much here in the second half. It's been a good adjustment by the Washington defense. Limits the gain, and Riley slow to get up.
Wilson slow to get up. He took a big hit from Perry Riley earlier. He just took another from Breeland, and here he is scrambling again. He's taking some nasty shots tonight.
Riley is the one who is still down, that inside linebacker for Washington. The athletic training staff looks at him, timeout. Larry Hess, the Redskins athletic training staff, looking at the left knee of Perry Riley Jr., top tackler last year. He's 56.
See Riley here.
Gets hit by his own player, Jason Hatcher, as they were closing in and converging on Russell Wilson, who is now over 100 yards rushing. Will Compton will draw the assignments inside next to Keenan Robinson, trying to keep Wilson from those scrambles. 2nd and 20. Here he goes again. And they haven't fenced in this time. He retreats back in the pocket and throws complete to Wilson. I don't know if he came beyond the line of scrimmage first. Don't see any flags down, and Luke Wilson will get very close to the first down at the 31-yard line.
How does he see these receivers? Play action pass. Looking down the field. Steps up to his right.
Whoa, he went across the line of scrimmage, as I thought, live, and then came back. And the head linesman standing there blew that, because you cannot do that, come back and throw a flat and throw the ball. And Jay Gruden on the Washington sideline saw the same thing, and his coaches upstairs saw the same thing I saw. And talking to the official, Jeff Triplett, about potential challenge here.
Keep an eye on the 49-yard line. Yeah, he's clearly beyond the line of scrimmage. Good challenge play.
Beyond the line of scrimmage and come back behind and throw the forward pass. Timeout.
So a challenge and a timeout. Jeff Triplett, in consultation with the league headquarters in New York, has looked at this play, and here's his call.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The quarterback did not get the ball and his whole body beyond the line of scrimmage and come back behind. Therefore, it was a legal play and a legal forward pass. Washington is charged a timeout.
So let's go to this concept that we've often talked about, a player on the run who makes a throw. You have to be completely across the line of scrimmage to be considered as an illegal forward pass in downfield. Because Wilson's left shoulder stays on the left side, if you will, of that line of scrimmage, the 49, he's not considered to be completely clear of that neutral zone and a runner. So he's allowed to retreat back. The blue line is not an exact science, but certainly used as a line there for the official to understand. He was a yard short of the first down, 3rd and 1. Now in trouble, escapes, completes, and where's the ball going to be marked there for Lynch? Right at the mark. Now that is not the official set of sticks. That's just the guide. The official set of sticks, which switches sides of the field each half, is on the Washington side. So it'll be a measurement brought across here on 3rd and 1.
How about these last two scramble plays? Forget about where they mark it for a second. These two completions by Wilson are amazing. Pete Carroll sent Hauschka onto the field for a field goal. And in an inches situation with Marshawn Lynch and a backup nose tackle on the field for these Redskins, I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks go for it.
As the chains come across, let's mention that Washington loses a timeout with a challenge that was not successful. Seattle is short. It's 4th and a couple of chain links. The 2 feet are down and inbounds, and again the ball gets marked at the forward spot or point of the ball when he crosses the sideline, thus ending up shy of the 31. And as you said, John, Hauschka and the field goal unit comes on here for Seattle.
This is a bit of a surprise for me. This is a long field goal. Now Hauschka, 33 of 35 last year, had a career year. Let's see if he can make it a 2-score game.
From 49, fake, Ryan running, punter gets the first down.
Gutty call by Pete Carroll. I know who the grinder is going to be tonight.
Just going to say that. Just going to say that. He's been awesome.
I've seen the zone stretch play run for years in Seattle, but I haven't seen it with John Ryan. Ball's a direct snap. They run right to the left, and they pulled number 64, J.R. Sweezy.
He did that once with Green Bay. 2nd time in his career he has run for a first down. And the Seattle drive stays alive. Wilson outside of Arakpo. And accelerates out of bounds with a first down near the 15-yard line.
Look, it's Lynch one way, and he has the option to pull it the other. If you want to load up and you want to bring a lot of Redskins this way, he's not going to hand it. He's just going to keep it. And Brian Arakpo, number 98, fooled again.
Wilson talks about how some players, when they get to the sideline, throttle down. He likes to accelerate to the sideline, feels that that helps protect him from taking hits, and he's taken several hits here tonight, but still has 7 rushing first down. Wilson punting, running again, will slide inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. So Russell Wilson has over 100 yards rushing. And we mentioned that this is the 699th game in season 45 of Monday Night Football. And over all those games, only 2 other quarterbacks have had a 100-yard rushing night, both against New York teams. Steve Grogan of the Patriots did it against the Jets in '76. And Donovan McNabb of the Eagles did it a dozen years ago against the Giants. But add Wilson with the best rushing night by a quarterback in Monday Night Football history. The 122, his career high, and he now has Robert Turbin as his tailback. Stop shy of the 5, which is where that first down marker is, so it looks like it'll be 3rd and short. Inside of 9 minutes left.
Tough running game to stop. Wilson averaging almost 10 yards a carry, maybe over 10 yards a carry tonight. Remember, they're missing Zach Miller, their blocking tight end. And they've had to be very creative running the football without his presence, and there's an injury there. And I think it might be Max Unger, Mike.
In the center it is, John. And Stephen Schilling, 4th-year man out of Michigan, who was with the Chargers for 3 years, comes out. He would be the center to step in. Young man from the Northwest, from Bellevue, Washington. He gets some quick snaps in with Russell Wilson on 3rd and short in a tight spot. That center quarterback exchange will be very important as they look at Unger. He's being helped off by the training staff.
See number 60, Max Unger, blocking number 92, Baker. Hard to determine what that is, Mike.
So often the guy gets his leg rolled up on by the backs of the other folks trailing, but in that case it was just a step that caused the twice Pro Bowler some discomfort.
3rd down and very short. All tendencies have to go towards Marshawn Lynch. Closing time. But it'll be Lynch one way and Wilson the other.
Low shotgun snap, fielded by Lynch, who keeps piling forward. That might be a fumble because he was on the back of a Redskin. I don't know if the play was whistled dead with forward progress or not. And it is. The headlines was pointing just inside the 5, so it's 1st and goal for Seattle here with 8:10 and a turning clock in the 4th.
What a great job by Wilson fielding a bad snap. And Marshawn Lynch on his own drives for the 1st down. I'm like you, Mike.
You wouldn't have a clear recovery if challenged. Sweezy ended up getting back on it, but interesting they went with the shotgun snap there with Schilling just in the game after they had practiced conventional snaps. That one's fine, but a whistle and a flag and delay a game, I believe.
Delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
12 penalties tonight against Seattle, and I think 11 of them might be on the offense. They've already had a touchdown called back because of an offensive penalty. They've been knocked out of field goal range a couple times due to penalties, and then the story of the night is why Seattle has let the Redskins hang around.
Halfway through the 4th, Robert Turbin in at the back. And Turbin takes right. Couldn't get to the block for his fullback Coleman. Only a yard on the gain. Ryan Kerrigan, a sack earlier tonight on the stop there.
And a good lateral play by Chris Baker, their backup nose tackle. Personnel substitutions. This is the time of game where you're going to see Russell Wilson use some creative ball handling, Mike. Harvin back in the game. Lynch offset to the right of Wilson. Expect some deception here.
Pressure off the edge. Lynch out of the backfield. Open field. He breaks the tackle and scores the touchdown. Terry Riley out of the game earlier, back in on this drive, and he couldn't bring down the powerful Lynch on the 9-yard touchdown.
Well, you forget what a great receiver he is, Mike. That's 3 games in a row he's caught a touchdown pass. He's just going to come out of the backfield in a one-on-one situation. The blitz is on. There's the hot receiver, Marshawn Lynch, and Russell Wilson read it. Credit Marshawn Lynch for getting his eyes around. Touchdown, Seattle. Marshawn Lynch knows how to finish games.
Drive that took half the quarter ends in Lynch's 3rd touchdown reception in the first 4 games. And Hauschka adds the extra point. And Seattle takes a 14-point lead. Off to the arch, gateway to the west. St. Louis and the Rams trying to get their season turned around against Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers, who had a good second-half performance in their victory over Kansas City in Santa Clara yesterday. So Monday Night Countdown gets you going at 6 Eastern, and then 49ers Rams at 8:15 Eastern Time next Monday night. Marshawn Lynch, 54 rushing yards. That receiving touchdown, John Ryan, the punter, who dressed up as a punter for Halloween when he was 8. Great story about that in the Seattle Times. He's living a dream. And he's had a huge impact on this game tonight. No Washington drive has started from outside their own 20. It has been just a struggle the last couple of years. Why have things gone wrong of late? Well, $18 million each year, $36 million total in salary cap being docked because they front-loaded contracts in an uncapped year. Dallas and Washington suffered that penalty. The Griffin trade, he's been injured, 4 games under 500 and 3 1s and a 2. The price paid to acquire RG3. And all the injuries, not just Griffin. Jordan Reed has missed most of the season. D'Angelo Hall out for the season. No Tracy Porter tonight. Still waiting on Barry Cofield and Stephen Bowen, the guys to play up in front. So Cousins in for Griffin on first down. That pass incomplete. And Trent Williams slow to get up as he was knocked down. The left tackle adding to those injury woes.
Here comes Larry Hess, the trainer of the Redskins, and I've never seen injuries like this. They have James Andrews, the great team doctor of the Redskins, and he might be the busiest team physician in football, unfortunately, for Washington.
Injury timeout to look at Trent Williams. Williams in a little bit of discomfort, came into this game with a slightly dislocated right kneecap. Being looked at on the sideline, drinking a lot of fluids.
Got beat inside and lunged late.
Went to grab at that left calf area.
And the speed group is in for the Seahawks. Averill, Bennett, Irvin. They can get after you.
And 68 Compton is the left tackle, trying to block Irvin, so a screen set up for Halou. It's a good play call in this situation, and Halou gets the first down out at the 40-yard line. New left tackle, a backup, screen right. Good call.
Great effort by Jordan Hill, and Washington jumping into the no-huddle offense. Expect them to work the left side where Byron Maxwell is. They've worked that side predominantly tonight.
Sean Jackson that way. Cousins firing for Roberts, incomplete. John, we should talk about Marcus Burley here a little bit because Seattle lost Brandon Browner, as we mentioned. He's a Patriot now. Jeremy Lane, a groin injury, and in has stepped Burley in this nickel spot.
Well, I used to have to call off games if something happened to our nickel corner. That's a tough assignment. They lost Walter Thurman to the Giants. They lose Jeremy Lane to an injury, and you got to credit John Schneider, the GM of the Seahawks. He makes a trade for Burley with the Colts, a man who's been cut 4 times from Delaware, and he's played like a Seattle Seahawk all year.
Hard count by Cousins. That's the 3rd time he's been able to do that and get Seattle drawn offside.
Offside, number 56, defense, unimpeded to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
We'll go to Pete Carroll, though. At the beginning of every year, they have a swear-in meeting with the coaches. And they all shake on it. They all say, hey, we are a developmental coaching staff. You are going to develop the players at every one of your positions better than anyone in the league. That's why Burley plays like he plays. That's why Cam Chancellor and Sherman, Maxwell, these middle round players explode onto the scene. These coaches take great pride in helping them develop.
After the offside, 2nd and 5, Cousins delivers to his tight end Niles Paul. Across midfield into Seahawk territory, 5:45. Did you have any swearing-in meetings with your coaching staff at the start of the year?
Yes, I did. We'll get into that off air. But you can see the duress that Cousins is under without a lot of healthy Redskins up front. Cliff Averill is putting particular pressure on Cousins.
Get a shot over the top. It's Logan Paulson this time to the 42-yard line. Washington with 2 timeouts. Into Seattle territory here with 5:17 to go. Cousins looking over for some direction.
Watch Seattle in the secondary. Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor. They're going to stand there together until the ball snapped. One goes deep, one goes short. They do a nice job at disguising their look.
And Cousins fires incomplete as the pressure was on. How unique is that ability of those safeties to be able to do that and then hold that disguise until the very last second?
It's very unique, and normally it's Chancellor coming down and it's Earl going deep. But Mike, you would admit you've been to a lot of places. You probably haven't met many safety combinations like they have in Seattle. These are 2 dynamic people. Seattle has them under wraps for the next few years. It's a credit to the way they've organized this football team.
Both came in the 2010 draft. Trent Williams back in the game at left tackle for Washington on 3rd and 3. It's the 4-man rush. Cousins gets rid of it. Roberts was being held by Maxwell, but got the catch for the first down at the 37-yard line.
And Maxwell got away with one there. Great throw by Cousins, and it looks like Roberts is hurt. Watch number 41. He's got his hands on Roberts. He grabbed him. Perfect throw. Good concentration. First down.
You can bump inside of 5, but you can't grab jersey. Ryan Grant, the rookie out of Tulane, 5th-round pick. He's the receiver closest to Cousins at the bottom of the screen. That's deflected over the middle with Halou. The intended receiver, it's incomplete.
They had him coming out of the backfield. They love this halfback choice route. Halou one-on-one with K.J. Wright. And Halou's going to beat him to the inside, but the ball is tipped.
Kevin Williams, maybe? Yep, 94.
How many times has he done that in his career, Mike? I bet Kevin Williams has as many blocked shots as Shaquille O'Neal. That might be incorrect, but you get the picture. He is a massive defensive tackle that has a knack for swatting passes.
I did get your point, though.
Thanks.
It's part of that swearing-in meeting that you have. Pressure on, blitz up the middle. Cousins gets rid of it to Halou. Halou at the 20. To the 15. It's a great pickup of the blitz there by Cousins. Good decision. Washington still alive with 4 minutes to go.
I like Kirk Cousins. Here comes the blitz, and Roy Halou's going to look over his outside shoulder. No one's there. They didn't cover him. Number 91, the rookie Cassius Marsh from UCLA blew it. He's got to peel out of the rush and cover Halou. Good work by Kirk Cousins.
45 left from the 15. Cousins, Deshaun Jackson already has a touchdown tonight, out of bounds at the 7. Seattle injury update. Max Unger, left foot injury. Their center will not return tonight, we're told. Unger out for the game for Seattle, their center.
And Roberts has checked back into the game. That's a good sign. 2nd and 1. Running the football not out of the question here. Although time is of the essence. No backs.
First down at the 5. Cousins, end zone, touchdown. Andre Roberts. 1-score game.
An impressive drive by Kirk Cousins and this Redskin offense. Trent Williams goes out of the game. Roberts goes out of the game. They hang in there, and Cousins finds Roberts on a double move for 6. Breaks to the outside, back to the inside, and Burley was fooled, and Chancellor is late to the post.
Washington has 2 timeouts left. We'll see what the strategy is with the kickoff. The extra point from Forbath makes it 24-17. Be right back. Tight game. 4th quarter. 7-point game, 2 timeouts left for Washington, 3.5 to go. So let's talk about the night. Kai Forbath, coming back from a groin injury, has not been kicking deep, in part to keep it away from Percy Harvin. Onside kick, surprise, didn't work. Do you go back to that well again?
They don't want to kick the ball to Harvin because they've struggled to cover. I'd be surprised if they onside kicked it here. I would kick it deep and away from Harvin.
That's what Forbath does, sends Harvin all the way back. And the good news with the hands team on the field there is you don't have the blockers there to set up a return. So it gives you the chance to pin them back. And it's finally a long field for Seattle with 3:35 to go.
They have hit Russell Wilson several times in the second half. There's been numerous penalties on this Seattle offense, and they have their backup center in there, Mike.
You know what, John? Unger is in there. Again, we were told by the Seahawks that Unger was out for the game with the left foot injury. That was the report we got during the last drive by Washington, but obviously that's not correct. Unger back in there in a huge spot. There's down Wilson. Lynch left. Got away from one and another. And Lynch trying to stay in bounds. Seattle bench trying to get the face mask flag, and there come the 2 penalty markers thrown. That'll tack on a 1st down for the Seahawks.
Boy, they ran it right into a free safety blitz.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 99 of the defense. 15 yards added at the end of the run. 1st down.
Jarvis Jenkins. Just like that, it's out to the 43-yard line.
They're going to run this play right into a free safety blitz. I thought the Redskins had him outnumbered. They just miss a couple tackles, and Jenkins gets the face mask on the sideline. Huge penalty. Good call by the official.
Let's make that the 44, so it's a 24-yard run and penalty. 3:25 to go. Trying to get Lynch to the edge, trying to get him out of bounds as well. Lynch is such a tough and good runner. He's not going to get himself out of bounds, stays in bounds. 3:13 to go. 2nd time in a row he's done that.
Excuse me, Mike, and they really like this left corner, Brashad Breeland. Might be a safety in future years, but watch number 26 one-on-one with Marshawn Lynch. You're holding on for dear life until the posse arrives. As you say, nice work by Lynch staying in bounds. Washington got to be ready to use a timeout if they can get a stop.
Half his work after he's hit. 2nd and 7. Lynch left across midfield, and the timeout taken by Jay Gruden with 2:33 to go. And 1 timeout remaining as they unpile there. And John, we talk about closing games, and Lynch is one of those runners, and we've gotten away from this in the league over the last few years. Seems as you get to the 4th quarter, that physical toll that he takes, this is when you really see it.
No question, and I've seen back-to-back safety blitzes by the Redskins, and twice tonight, Russell Wilson has pulled the ball away from Lynch and kept it himself. If I'm the Redskins, I have to be alert for Wilson out the back door because I've seen him do it twice against these safety blitzes. And I know Jim Haslett and Jay Gruden are thinking the same thing. Harvin back in the game. Red alerts everywhere when he comes in. A lot of deception with Harvin, Lynch, and Wilson together in a moment like this.
Third and 4. Wilson keeping, pressured by Kerrigan. Puts it up. It's caught by Lynch for the 1st down. Stays in bounds, and Lynch to the 21-yard line.
That might be the greatest play I've seen Russell Wilson make, and that's saying something. This play has no chance. They're going to fake it to Lynch and try to get Percy Harvin sliding across the formation, just like we talked about. This play has no chance. He's running dead to his left. How he sees these receivers under intense fire, I have no idea.
The incredible Russell Wilson does it again. Takes us to the 2-minute warning.
Two-minute warning in our nation's capital. Hiya, folks. Steve Levy once again in for Stuart Scott coming up on the GMC postgame report. Steve Young, Trent Dilfer, and Ray Lewis will break down the game. They'll also fix what's wrong with the NFL. Ray will fix the defense. Steve and Trent on the offense. We'll count down the top 10 plays from a wild Week 5 of the National Football League. We'll see you on SportsCenter immediately after the game. Upstairs, Mike and John, take it away.
Thank you, Steve. Usually the best you can do with one timeout at the 2-minute warning is get the ball back with about 20 seconds left. So Seattle's a first down away from completely icing this thing, but it's almost done as it is, barring a turnover. Lynch a gain of 2. Let's go back to that third down play. There were a couple of flags that could have been thrown.
Should have been called. Should have been offsetting penalties. Watch left tackle number 76, Russell Okung. That's holding right there. That's holding. Not called. And Percy Harvin sliding across the formation. I don't think that's legal either, Mike. I think both of those calls were missed. That should have been a penalty on Seattle and Washington. Should have been offsetting penalties. That's poor work.
2nd and 8, staying out of the shotgun here with 1:20. Wilson milking as much time off the clock. Left 3 seconds there, actually. Lynch gets tackled, and Jay Gruden will use his final timeout here with 1:12 remaining in this 7-point game. And John, we've been showing you some of these next generation stats and tracking of players during the game, and Wilson's the ideal player to do it with his 122 rushing yards, 201 passing yards, and all the ground he has covered here tonight.
Unbelievable. Any generation. I mean, I don't need to go to the next generation to learn that. Wilson is unbelievable. 122 yards rushing, 201 passing. He has dazzled people in the open field. He's been hit hard. He's gotten up. I got to tip my hat to this young man. He is phenomenal.
Let's go back to the very beginning of the broadcast before kickoff, and you talked about one of the issues with Russell Wilson. So many of his plays come from places you can't plan for. It's not a 5-step drop and throw. It's not just the read option. He makes so many things happen. That's why you liked him so much, despite being under 6 foot, coming out of the draft. He waited till the 3rd round to be selected. And boy, has he done some special stuff with the Seahawks. Washington out of timeouts. They're looking to throw here. Interesting, Wilson will just keep it and get sacked here inside the 2-minute warning. The clock keeps moving here. And we'll take it down to 25 seconds. And Pete Carroll will probably milk the clock all the way down, take one of his timeouts before the Hauschka field goal attempt at 26 on the game clock.
And the best Jay Gruden can do is put number 94, Clifton Gathers, in there, right next to Jason Hatcher. And you got to hope that one of these two can reject the football and maybe they can get a desperation block. Here they come.
Pete Carroll's over there by the officials saying, don't snap it, guys. We're going to take a timeout. And the timeout taken here at 28 seconds. And Hauschka, of course, goes out there and misses the field goal as they go through the snap.
Timeout. Seattle, they're second.
That usually happens when you're trying to ice the kicker, not when you're doing it to your own kicker. And another tick comes off, so we're 27 seconds here before the Hauschka field goal attempt.
Ben Kokwika, the special teams coach of the Redskins. Desperation block time. Breland 26, Emerson 39. 2 long arm corners coming off the edge. And you have big people pushing it up the gut. This is a situation you work on throughout training camp. Desperation block, sell out. And Seattle needs a perfect snap, the reliable hold, and they need Hauschka to finish Washington.
And there's 94, the 6'8" Clifton Gathers. Hauschka, who does kick a low ball from 43, able to knock that one through and give Seattle the 10-point lead with 21 seconds left. They always seem to know, don't they? The Seahawks' ability to keep most of the team together from the championship, although they did lose some significant players, the keys are together. Why? Because salary cap numbers were low for Thomas, Sherman, Baldwin, and Wilson last year. But time came calling. They had to take care of Sherman for the next few years. Salary cap numbers there, and Sherman, and the receiver Baldwin. They did not have to extend because of the CBA and when he was drafted, Russell Wilson. So his salary cap number is $817,000 this year. The best bargain in the sport. Now next year, you start to get into that window where you want to renegotiate his contract in all likelihood. And it may impact who Seattle can keep going forward. But for now, the opportunity to keep this terrific difference maker with some very good people and a very deep roster, the reason Seattle's going to have a terrific chance, if healthy, to repeat.
Well, it will impact them next year because he's got to be in the $20 million a year range. And Marshawn Lynch, will he be a Seahawk next year? I've already talked about KJ Wright, Bobby Wagner. They want contracts. They deserve them, but it'll be a situation that they'll deal with at the appropriate time.
Hakeem Jordan fields the ground ball kickoff. He's brought down to the 35-yard line with 14 seconds remaining. Ricardo Lockett slow to get up after the tackle. Seattle has the short week to return home and a very big game hosting Dallas late Sunday. It's the only home game in a 5-week stretch for Seattle. And with the success in the division here, the Giants turning it around, and a good start for Philly and Dallas, Washington will find itself at 1-4, 3 games back in the division, and going to Arizona to start a stretch of 3 of the next 4 away from FedEx. And some of the 12s, the Seahawk fans who have made the trip, being heard as Garcon collects underneath. We'll get into Seahawk territory, and that might be the final snap of the night. Cousins not intercepted, didn't turn it over, but his opposite number, the quarterback for the Seahawks, did the job with his ability to run and throw and keep plays alive. Best rushing night of his career, best rushing night for a quarterback in the history of Monday Night Football. 122 for Russell Wilson, 1 rushing touchdown, 2 passing. Seattle 27, Washington 17. John Gruden, Lisa Salters, and our team, Mike Tirico. The coverage continues with the GMC postgame next on SportsCenter.